Listen up, fellas.
Okay, CaptainSPrice knocked Agent 12G out of the tournament without even beating an eye. Just
Rifle squad ready for
or
action.
batting an eye. Without batting an eye. Easy. Easy win for CaptainSPrice, clearly. Let's see if his next challenger will give him more of a run for his money. Literally, Commash will be our next challenger here. This will be the 5th consecutive person that CaptainSPrice has taken on, and this is the same day, by the way. People watching on YouTube, CaptainSPrice going with 3 challengers in one day, one of which was Love Nest. In fact, that was his first one, so he's probably getting a little drained, getting a little fatigued. If Commash can take full advantage of that, who knows what might happen. Commash playing as U.S. forces here on Minsk Pocket. That's the map. U.S. forces in the north versus CaptainSPrice going with OKW in the south, and he's fielded Breakthrough already. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Commash has access to Mechanized, Airborne, and Rifle Company. Mechanized is quite strong on Minsk Pocket because it can afford you good early munitions control on the flanks of the map. You've got those munitions points. Pretty easy to access those if you have that WC-51 and maintain control for quite a while, especially against OKW, who has no Panzerfaust. Then, of course, later in the game, you have the heavy artillery barrage to try and blow up OKW trucks. So that would definitely be a strong option. Airborne, also, always, of course, a strong option, giving you that higher firepower. Paratroopers, if you, for the long-range engagements on this map. And Rifle Company, I'd be a little more surprised to see, because flamethrower range engagements not as common on Minsk Pocket, but Rifle Company is always a solid choice, no matter the map. We'll have a bit of an engagement here in the center. Folks Grenadiers had superior positioning and managed to drop 1 rifle model. 2 rifle models. Wow, pretty good engagement there for CaptainSPrice. Pretty lucky. Usually you don't get even that much, but he will be forced to retreat. Riflemen now have superior positioning on these Folks Grenadiers. Engaging at this range, though, I think the Folks Grenadiers will be able to force a retreat as long as a model or 2 gets dropped. Over here on the right side, Riflemen walk into a pretty bad engagement against those Sturm Pioneers and will be forced to retreat a little on the early side. And the 3rd squad of Riflemen is making its way towards the center. And it looks like, indeed, those Riflemen have lost this engagement. They do drop 1 Folks Grenadier model before being forced to retreat themselves. And Commash is going to go for it. He's chosen Mechanized and fielded a WC-51, which is making its way towards the right side now. Meanwhile, the 3rd squad of Riflemen is moving up to try and secure control of the center victory point, while rear echelon troops take control of the victory point way over here on the left.
We can now dispatch WC-51 trucks.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well, grab your shit, follow me. Enemy infantry! Fire at will! Task complete. Crew ready.
Kraut's got us pegged.
Reinforcements in. Welcome to the Death Factory, boys. Stick with me and you might just make it.
The capture point is under attack.
All done over here.
Reinforced wire barricade on the right side will deny U.S. forces movements towards that munitions point, but the WC-51 is a little late to stop them constructing, but should be able to force a retreat unless supporting infantry makes it there in time. CaptainSPrice going with Overcommando West on this map. Still does not have access to any form of anti-tank, really. He's going to grab himself a Rakettenwerfer for now. No Panzerschrecks on his Folks Grenadiers yet, and the WC-51 has been forced away, but it's going to get to safety and be able to repair. And it's also got Vet 1 now, giving it access to Step on It, which will, of course, be a huge mobility boost for the WC-51. It can rocket across Minsk Pocket in no time with that ability at its disposal.
Field promotion!
We have a lieutenant reporting in for duty. Changing mag! Under fire! Bust out the metal, boys! Promotion just came through!
Folks Grenadiers will be forced to retreat over there on the left side, and Riflemen are going to secure the left side munitions while a fighting position goes up from these rear echelon troops. Meanwhile, over here on the right side, munitions point still in CaptainSPrice's hands because of the reinforced wire barricade. Commash is going to go Lieutenant tier, which with mechanized you actually quite frequently see multiple, if not all 3 tiers unlocked. Other commanders, sometimes you only see 1 tier, especially if that commander has call-in tanks. Mechanized is more of an all 3 tier commander. Ooh. Nice play by CaptainSPrice. Just enough damage from small arms fire to bring it down so that it could be one-shotted by the Raketenwerfer there from outside of the WC-51's vision range. Shot connects and it is taken out. Machine gun upgrading on the left side should be able to secure the munitions for a while, and it looks like CaptainSPrice is going with his standard build, OKW build of Panzer Fusiliers with G43s instead of Volksgrenadiers with Panzerschrecks. So he's almost certainly going to be going into a Jagd Panzer as soon as he's able to afford it, which will be quite soon, in fact, although he does need to get a little bit of manpower first. And Commash is going to go with an AA half-track. Interesting decision. Raketenwerfer flanks the fighting position. Should be able to destroy it easily enough from over there. There it goes. We'll clear the way to take control of the munitions point, but I think Volksgrenadier squad just got wiped. I don't know if he was paying any attention. Yeah, Volksgrenadier squad gets wiped by Commash's forces there on the fuel point. He wasn't even paying attention to that engagement. Neither was I. The full squad of Volksgrenadiers goes down, and the AA half-track is rolling onto the field, and a fresh squad of Panzer Fusiliers is making its way to the front line as well.
Regimental headquarters advise. Panzer Fusiliers are ready for action.
I got more! Concentrate on the lead element! The lead element! Hit him with crossfire!
Raketenwerfer is in position to combat that AA half-track. It will be forced to reposition to a more safe location. Riflemen moving into close range on those G43s will take the engagement, but they take pretty heavy damage in the process. G43s had superior positioning, were in green cover, dropped a lot of rifleman models before being forced away. These riflemen are going to take control of this munitions here, and we've also got a fuel cache going up in the back from Commash and a 50 cal. And we know machine guns perform very well on Minsk Pocket because of the corridor sort of setup, and the AA half-track should be able to perform relatively well as well. WC-51 gets salvaged by those Sturm Pioneers. Raketenwerfer gets a shot off on the AA half-track again, well positioned for that thing's advance. And that one Raketenwerfer is proving to be more than enough to completely keep Commash's light vehicles at bay. Difficult to avoid their lines of fire on Minsk Pocket, especially with only one light vehicle at your disposal, but Commash is collecting a decent amount of fuel. He starts fielding Shermans soon. That will be a concern that CaptainSPrice will have to deal with. He's got the fuel for a Jagdpanzer though, so he should be able to respond if necessary. And Commash, with 29 fuel coming in at this time, will be able to get his major within the next few seconds, and then Sherman probably on the field by the 11 or 12 minute mark, which is respectable. And it looks like CaptainSPrice is secure enough in his early advantage here. Oh, never mind. I was about to say he was going to set up a tier 4, but I guess he changed his mind and went with the Jagdpanzer purchase instead. So he's got the Jagdpanzer making its way onto the battlefield. Once that hits the field, it's going to be very tough for Commash to take it out with Allied armor. Plus he delayed his own tanks by getting this AA half-track a little. So the Jagdpanzer hitting the field first. They act as a bit of a deterrent, but Commash, it's important to note, Commash has 250 munitions in the bank, and once he gets to 8 command points, he'll be able to drop 2 artillery strikes by the look of things. He could fully destroy battle group headquarters. He could try and take out a lot of CaptainSPrice's troops if he manages to force a mass retreat. And that's why the 50 cal synergizes, and the AA half-track synergizes quite well. With mechanized, if you can force a mass retreat, you can get the combo recon sweep and mechanized artillery on a giant OKW blob. You can take out a huge amount of forces. So suppression is very important with mechanized company, and it seems that Commash knows that. AA half-track moving up to do counter-harassment on the left. Jagdpanzer is on the field and is making its way over there to assist. Jagdpanzer also, or Rakettenwerfer also set up here in the middle, just in case anything else arrives, like a Sherman. Commash has the resources for his next officer, his major. He hasn't purchased it yet, still focusing on this engagement. Moving into close range with these two squads. Rifle squad in the back taking heavy damage but not retreating yet. 50 cal moving up will suppress those two squads, but the Jagdpanzer catches the AA half-track, which is attempting to circle strafe the Jagdpanzer, but I think it will go down. AA half-track destroyed, and it didn't really do that much this game. These two squads of infantry fall a little bit low, nothing too serious, and they'll simply pull back to safety.
Our supply line just got cut off.
And these two squads will make their way back to the U.S. base for some reinforcement. Not looking great for U.S. forces here. CaptainSPrice has excellent victory point control. He's destroyed all U.S. vehicles that have hit the field. Commash makes his way up to 7 command points now, and does purchase himself a major, which is in production, as well as unlocking BARs. So he's actually going to spend some of his munitions float on BARs rather than focusing on dropping artillery. Needs to try and turn these infantry engagements back in his favor. So far it's proving quite difficult.
Battalion just released a major for action. The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Infantry!
Coming up on the flank! They got us zeroed in here!
Sturm Pioneers and G43s catch a squad that Commash is not monitoring. It'll go down. I think he right-clicked this point. He didn't remember that this was wired off, and they automatically pathed down the center instead of down the right side. Wasn't paying attention. Loses that minesweeper. These squads here in the center struggling very much to deal with these G43s. An ambulance is in production to try to turn infantry engagements back in his favor, give him healing, reinforcement. Grenade tossed over here on the left. He will dodge it and retreat the squad. Looks like this engagement will also go to CaptainSPrice and force a retreat from these allied infantry squads. 50 cal makes its way towards the engagement, but it's a little late. I don't think that Commash can turn this engagement in his favor. In fact, he's way too late to retreat that rifle squad, and it will be wiped. Bringing him down to only 1 rifleman squad remaining. His lieutenant, 50 cal, is fielding a fresh rifle squad now.
Can anyone get on their flank? What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well,
Krauts are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
Achtung! Ready yourself. Contact! Infantry! Increase your way! Infantry
Lieutenant will be forced to retreat there in the center. Major moves up to set up the forward retreat point, but the ambulance is very hesitant to leave the U.S. forces base, and the reason for that is that this Jagdpanzer will one-shot it, and I can't count the number of times I've had an ambulance get sniped by a Jagdpanzer. Sometimes from well beyond Jagdpanzer maximum range. In fact, here it comes. And ambulance down. Doesn't look like there's any hope here for the U.S. player of coming back from this situation.
Area secure. Cover the advances.
17 fuel coming in from the U.S. forces now, thanks to this fuel cache and holding on to this one fuel point. That's pretty much all he gets. It will be enough to field a Sherman now, or if he chooses to wait a little longer and go for the Jackson. Nope, there's the Sherman. Sherman is his only hope. He needs to execute a miracle, though, with that Sherman. And even if he gets, like, not one miracle, but like 6 miracles in a row, that'll just make it an even game. That's not even going to be the beginning of a comeback. CaptainSPrice has a 150 fuel lead. Probably going to go straight for a King Tiger from here. That's my assumption. We do have tier 3 with fuel transfer active. If he throws tier 4 up next, he'll have a position that's almost impossible to assault. Not to mention a huge victory point lead and his resource lead. And unfortunately, Commash spent a lot of munitions on BARs. At least one rifle squad got wiped with double BARs, so that's 120 munitions down the drain. If he throws a 50 cal on this Sherman when he can afford it, he'll be back down to 0 munitions, and this artillery strike may never come down. And since that's kind of the mechanism by which mechanized wins, this artillery strike, if you can't save up enough munitions for it, especially against OKW, you're unlikely to stand a chance.
We're losing a capture point. Gun crew just got wiped out.
50 cal wipe just by sheer overwhelming firepower. 3 G43 squads backed with a couple Volksgrenadiers. Sherman wants to move up and take shots. HE shell is off target. Tier 4 is being constructed here. Jagdpanzer making its way to the front line. We'll easily be able to screen that Sherman away, and Commash is playing very defensively with it anyway, not wanting to expose it to harm, since it's his only tank, and it will be his only tank for the foreseeable future. Has barely any infantry left. Completely on his last legs, and this machine gun is also probably going to get stolen by CaptainSPrice if he decides he wants it, or he could salvage it, but he's kind of ignoring it for now, just wants to get this fuel point under control. Okay, and it looks like the game is over. Yes, game is over. Commash has surrendered, and we're going to take a short break, go straight into game 2. GG, Axis wins.